You're listening to Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
From the Pace Radio Show, we're live here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com. Good evening, Tamara. How you doing?
I'm good, Al. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, not doing too bad. Never that, always 100% perfect time of life, but, we're patient, so things come and go, fade in and out. You know how it is.
Yeah. I kind of had one of those days too where I just kind of it's gray and crappy and I'm tired. I'm working a lot of hours, so I feel you. I feel you. Just kind of dragging my butt today.
Yeah, it's been, it's just that time, whether it's just that time of year or maybe it's just the food, but Crohn's, things come and go, right?
Right. Oh, I understand that.
Yes. Work, you mentioned working a lot of hours.
Yeah, I work like 184 hours this month because I'm working 6 days a week, right? The only day I have off is Wednesday, and I did that so I could continue on with what I do, even though I, dropped the ball again today and fell asleep and just didn't do my show either. But me and my guests kind of missed all the. Yeah, it was just kind of a shit show.
Yeah.
So I just, what do you do, right? It is what it is. So yeah, again, like I said, it's just kind of been one of those days. Again, we woke up to rain, which is perfect. We need the rain. We haven't had rain in 41 days. So I'm not complaining about the rain. But again, the gray darkness kind of like puts that cloud over your, just so it's just, been a day.
Yeah, we actually had some sunshine today, so it was good. But it was windy, really windy. I was just watching the plants.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when that low that gets really like hot, it seems the wind really blows in here too. Like when it's 30 degrees, it's windy always here in here too. Like a lot of it. Yeah. But yeah, it's chilly today and we've got rain and like I said, we desperately needed it. So I'm not complaining about the rain in any way, shape, or form. But it's been chilly. So cooler and kind of gray.
We've had a good August as far as the weather-wise because of we're still cutting the grass every week. And normally it's really dry here in August, but I see in the long-range forecast it's going to be dry. So it looks like August is going to arrive in September.
Oh, we're in a stage with 3 restriction. We can't water our lawns right now.
Oh, really?
We were to the stages where we could do it once a week, and now it's just hand watering. Now with the rain, I'm not sure they will change that for now because it's not going to make that much of a difference, to be fair. But we couldn't water our lawns. Like we were supposed to be non-sprinkling or once a week kind of thing. Like we've been out all summer. Yeah. And at the worse, like all through Kelowna, like and with the fires and stuff. With, we've just BC's been under water restrictions for.
Well, yeah, especially with all the fires going on.
Exactly. Where, you had some fires in northern part of Ontario and Quebec in the early part of, the year where I believe and we still got fires burning in the northern parts of British Columbia. It is, like I said, we needed rain really badly and I'm thankful that we got some today, but it's not going to be near enough.
Now, I was talking with one person. They said that their mother had been evacuated and they had fires like within 5 kilometers of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I had friends that were evacuated from West Kelowna. I'm not sure that they're back in their homes, but I mean, again, Kelowna, the fire chief said that pretty much that fire is going to burn until the snow falls, and it won't be coming near back into the city because they've done some back burning so that it's moving back up the mountain rather than coming down towards the cities. But that's going to stay burning until the snow flies, and they're going to have to monitor it right up until the snow flies. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's making for quite a mess. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
So
and then the flooding too. So
yeah.
yeah, there's been
So
years.
I'm talking about your job and working. I see you post a lot of stuff that things that you seem to be learning, different foods.
Yeah, lots of Korean and Asian foods that we have there as well. And then, like I said, I still have people know me from working at the other store, and they know me from just being around town. So I get to talk a lot about a lot of things working there, as well as plants and cannabis. I had a girl come in last week that she's from the coast, and she knew who I was. She's, "You're to marijuana." I said, "Yeah, actually, I am."
Uh,
With the High Times Cup, and she had a booth. I think she's Red Eye Baking or something from
mhm,
the Lower
okay.
Mainland. She moved back to Cranbrook, but she knew who I was, which was kind of weird. I know who she was. She looked at me. She goes, "How do I know you?" And she was wearing a High Times Cup hoodie, and I says, "Well, I don't know." I says, "Where are you from?" Like, I know the people that did the High Times Cup a few years ago, like BC Bud Depot. They were a sponsor for a cup that I did out here. She looks at me. She goes, "You're to marijuana." And I said, "Yeah, yeah, I am." So it was, yeah.
That's good. Being
That little
recognized.
store's
Yeah.
that little store's been open in Cranbrook since 1949. I mean, I went
Oh,
to it.
really?
Yeah. So it's the oldest little grocery store, convenience store in town, and yeah, it's still open, and people come in, and it's a cute little store. But I planted, not a cannabis plant, of course, but I got a
No.
plant. Kind of making it, my evening vibe where I got my Wonder Boom going and some plants going, and so yeah, lots of
Good.
lots of
Good.
Asian food. If you're into Asian foods, that's where to go.
Yeah. I don't know. Like it seems as if you weren't eating that type of food beforehand. So have you noticed any improvement or discomfort? One way or the other, as far as
I've been always kind of eating like wontons and that kind of stuff and that
new.
pork
Okay.
before, and now
Yeah.
with access to it. So when I do eat, I still continue to eat that. I gained 4 pounds, but then I've lost 4 pounds again. So it's just gonna be what it is. But I'm eating a lot more junk.
Uh, yeah. That you know, it's good that you're eating, but yeah, and that stuff you would think would put on weight. Like I know when I was down at my really low level, 120 pounds. Like they were telling me just eat like basically like those pudding cups, something to gain some weight with.
Yeah. Well,
Just
that's no. She recommended Ensure, which I've got, and I drink a lot of
yeah,
that. I've been drinking, but again, I can't. Like I was going to drink that Power Milk, but I can't because it's dairy, right? Even though it's like
right,
46 grams of protein, which is terrific for
yeah,
weight gain. It's dairy, so I have a hard time with dairy. Like I just it. Yeah, I
yeah.
tried one of them, and it was just even with the Ensure because it's creamy, even though it's supposed to be
Well,
like it.
I quite often looked at those labels, right? And you can see the list, the nutrient list, and see all those huge numbers. And I think, wow, this is good for you. Then somebody said to me one day when I posted about using that because it help me deal with the lack of nutrition because of not being able be able to absorb it through my small bowel.
Yep.
And someone said to me, read the label. The number one ingredient is sugar, and if it's not number one, it's right at the top. Like I was quite surprised
Yeah.
that it was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's usually a quick sugar rush, whether it's some chocolate or something, gives you a little bit pick me up and go.
Or even if you make your own smoothie with a protein, like a protein
Mhm.
powder, you're still getting sugar, whether it's natural sugar, whether and people will add they'll add honey to it, or they'll add brown sugar to it, or raw sugar to their smoothie. So they're still adding, and maybe it's not as much sugar, but they're still adding some form of sweetener. And in most recipes, you'll see a little touch of honey or a little touch of this. But again, you're also getting natural fruit sugars. from your
Mhm.
banana, from your strawberry, from your blueberry, whatever. And as even like diabetes, my dad's got diabetes. So knowing this, you have to watch what intake you take, even with your gluten levels, with sugar, because your body, replaces things, making it into sugar, like with bread, white
Yeah.
bread. So there's so many examples of how you're getting sugar. When you see sugar, you're getting it in everything, and your body breaks things down into being sugar because your body absolutely needs a little bit of sugar, no matter what,
Yeah, yeah. And some fruit can be too much sugar,
right?
as well. But it's much better than the stuff that you're getting in a
What kills me the
chocolate bar.
most is people that bitch or not bitch, but spew off about making this and not eating any sugar. No offense to anybody, but then they'll go to the store and they'll buy a chocolate or a gummy from the the store, and intake edibles with sugar in them, but they're the ones advocating don't eat
Yeah,
sugar.
yeah, yeah. And there's some there that practice what they preach, and there's some that yeah, it's easy to say it versus trying to eliminate it.
And I'm not going to
'Cause,
sit here and say I
some
don't.
people say sugar is one of the most addictive things that we got going on.
I'm here to tell you, like, I'm not going to sit here and preach with it. I don't eat sugar. I got a bag of gummy bears behind the screen. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of my evil things. I like sugar. And I know I shouldn't be intaking it. I shouldn't eat tomatoes either with my rheumatoid arthritis. There's things that they say you shouldn't eat, right? It's different types of
Yeah.
foods. You've got certain autoimmune things. So I try and stay away from tomatoes and tomato sauce because it does make me sick. Dairy,
Oh,
I try and stay away from that. And
I
it's
hate
not like,
tomatoes.
I grow them. I've got all kinds of them. It's like, I'm like, you want some
Oh, what a mess.
tomatoes? I can't eat them. They suck.
I'm not a fan of tomatoes. But Gail likes the tomatoes, so we grow some tomatoes. But I'm the one who has to deal with the tomato cage that goes in this way, straight up and down, and then it's running this way,
Yeah,
and
I
there's
know.
this massive growth that's just anchored
I've got
down.
one. I've got one out in the middle of my yard that is taller than I am. My tomato and my squash, and I've got them in around that middle. I put a big piece of wire around them, and then I put some deer mesh around it so the deer couldn't get it.
Okay.
And that tomato plant is literally 5 feet tall, but it's got hardly any tomatoes on it. They're all green still. I'm like, what do I do with this? And I amended the soil. I fertilized, did all the right things. It grew. It's got flowers on it, but there's hardly any tomatoes on it.
Really?
It's
Well, I'll tell you, we got lots. Gail just can't keep up.
Oh,
There's,
that's great though. That's great,
like there's actually, I'm not going to say Gail, the house can't keep up because there's six of us that are here, and
right?
I don't know how many people eat tomatoes, but Gail can't keep up. So
Yeah.
it's either reduce the plants or start making spaghetti sauce.
Or you can just bag them and throw them in the freezer. You
Bag
can
them and throw them in the freezer.
take them, yeah, wash them, bag them and throw them in the freezer into freezer bags, like the big freezer bags. And then when
Uh,
you thaw them, then you can make your sauces. It's just like stewed tomatoes because
they
when
don't
they
go they don't go soggy in the
no,
freezer or
it,
after when
well
you
they
thaw
will
them.
because they'll soggy when you unthaw them to make sauce. It's not like you're going to be able to unfreeze it and cut it up and put it on a sandwich. But it's the same
Oh,
as
come on.
yeah, but it's the same as stewing them or canning them. So you don't have to
Right.
blanch them or anything. You just can wash them and throw them into freezer bags and freeze them. Yeah,
Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe someday we'll get into the canning here.
canning's a pain in the ass. You just all the freaking skins off them. So you got to fill your sink with tomatoes and then boiling water and pull all the skins off your tomatoes and then shove them in jars,
Oh,
seal the jars, and then you have to boil the jars. It's a pain in the ass.
okay. And now that reminds me, my mom used to do that, the boiling of the jars. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
And you have to
Yeah.
squish them in. Like I remember as a little kid, my grandma had us up to our elbows, squishing tomatoes into jars, and our arms would be all like itchy
So
and sore.
you can't just throw them on the stove in a big pot and smash them all up and cook them down.
Well, you can, and then you can jar that if you want to. But it's easier just to
Yeah,
put them in the sink and scald the skins off, and then just put them
yeah,
into jars, and then squish them down when they're raw, and then jar them up, turn them down, and then you still have to boil the jars to seal the jar. Like that's how you seal jars, right?
yeah,
Then
yeah,
you
yeah.
boiling
It's been
water.
a while.
You don't need to actually cook the food, like cook the tomatoes prior to putting them in the jars.
I can remember mom at sometimes there was times she used the wax.
Yeah,
Didn't have those jars with the seals, right? You just poured the wax
with
in
the
there.
wax over top. Yep,
Yeah.
paraffin. Yep, yep. Mom would do that too because they didn't have the little seals or whatever, but they still have to boil them or something for before you put the wax on them or something. I don't know. Like I said, it's been like I was a little kid
Yeah.
when I was doing
Yeah.
this. I don't really remember each step by step
Well, yeah.
because grandma did
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
My mom never did can.
Okay.
My grandma did. Yeah,
Grandma. Yeah. No, my mom didn't. And
both
well,
my
she would have done it because she lived on she lived on a farm when she was growing up, and
well
there
my
was
my
lots of
dad's parents had an
lots
orchard.
of brothers and sisters.
Yeah, and my like I said, my dad's parents had an orchard, so my grandma Cartwright would can everything: peaches, pears, cherries, you name
Mm-hmm.
it. And then, of course, we go out there and we get sent home boxes of canned goods because grandma would make them, right? So,
Right.
yeah, but they had an orchard, so they had an abundance of fruit every year until they sold that, which is unfortunate that it was sold. But
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah.
is. My uncle, my dad didn't want to take it over, so it was sold.
No,
Yeah,
gone, gone, gone.
that's what
All
happens,
right.
right?
Let's see what else I got on the list here. How's the puppies
Growing,
growing?
and they're cute.
Growing. How does a teapot chihuahua grow big?
Well, they're not really teacup.
Aren't they?
No, no, they're not. Because there's no really such thing as a teacup. That's not something that you ever like. They
Okay.
can't really breed that, right? It's that they're over there. They're not crying right now. But if I get up and go and grab one, the other one will cry. But I can go grab them and show you because they're just right
Oh,
here. But yeah,
oh,
they're cute. Hang on, I'll grab them. I will grab them.
okay. Don't get him crying though.
Hi, boys. Come on, boys. I want to see you guys.
Oh,
Can I show you off for a minute?
mosquitoes.
Off for a minute. The Tasmanian Yorkies. So here they are.
Oh, look at them. Oh.
I know, right? Like, how could you not love them? This little guy here has not found a home, but this little guy here's name's Benz, and he's adopted out to a lovely girl named Maddie. She's bought his sister from the first litter, so
Oh,
he's going to go live with his sister from well half sister, because same mom, different dads, in
yeah.
Calgary. And this little guy still doesn't have a home yet. But yeah,
Uh,
they're growing,
well,
and there's
the Ben's there. The first thing that came to my mind what Ben's looked like was a bat.
oh yeah, he's got the floppy little ears. He does,
Yeah, yeah,
and then his ears are standing straight up. But yeah, he's got the more of the Yorkie kind of look to him. He's a little
yeah.
fluffier.
He's got the big eyes there.
Yeah, yeah. So he's got a home. Like I said, he's leaving next weekend, and then
Mm.
this guy, who knows? Nobody seems to.
Little scruff there on his chin, little white there.
I know, right? Yeah, he's a demon too. He's like his dad. He's pretty vocal, but he's pretty fluffy too. So they're both pretty fluffy. But this guy's more
So how
fluff.
big will they get?
Probably same size as Moose, I would think, because
No,
Moose
you
is
said as moose, not as a moose.
yeah, because Moose is their brother,
Well, I can see there's a couple there on the bed.
and Moose is the brother, right? But he's got two different parents. But to be fair, like Moose is not that big either. This is Moose,
I
right?
moose. He
But
smiles.
like I said, his mom and dad are different. This is Moosey, right? And then their
Yeah.
mom is his sister, and she's right here. And this is Piper. That's their mom, right? So she's
Okay.
quite a bit
Yes.
smaller. But Bean is also like the same size as Moose. Only he's a Yorkie, right? But he's in the kitchen. I'm not going to go get him. That's just a nightmare.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
But so I don't. I would suspect that they be about the same size as him. Maybe they might. But Ari's small. Like my daughter has the daughter from the first litter too. and she's
Yeah.
small. She's the same size as Piper, only a fur ball. So who
Right.
knows? I can't.
Well,
You
I
can't.
tell you, they're being really quiet right now and being really good.
Well, they were sleeping. I just woke them up, but they'll yeah they'll be
Uh,
fine for a bit. They're
I
really good.
spoke.
Actually. They're both
I
super
spoke too
good.
soon then.
Yeah, no, but they're super
Yeah.
good. Like they don't make a lot of noise. They sleep through the night. Piper usually goes in the kennel with them most of the time anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're getting weaned. They're eating and drinking and playing and doing everything that 7-week-old puppies should, 6.5-week-old puppies should be doing. They're
Mm.
going for their shots next Wednesday because I slept through the Monday appointment that I had for them this week, like a dummy too. Like I said, this working is kind of throwing me off. My schedule's off.
Yeah. Because when you work till 11, okay, you work till 10 or 11 o'clock at night,
10:30
whatever.
ish. Yeah,
10:30. Okay. So even though you work till then, I found because I used to work till 2 o'clock in the morning. When you got home, you're not going to bed.
yeah. No,
You're
that's the
still
thing.
wide
I'm
awake.
so wide awake, right? It's not like I can just get
Yeah.
up, go crawl into bed and go to bed for 11 o'clock. It's not happening.
Yeah. I would
I
stay
still
up till 6:30 in the morning when I was working till 2.
Yeah, and I'm staying up till like anywhere between 2 and 3 some
Yeah.
mornings, and then I'm not getting up till 10, which is not going to be good because school starts next week too, right? And I got to get Taylor to school,
Yeah. Well,
so I'll be getting up and trying to get him
you'll be
off to
getting up
school.
early for that.
Yeah, so it'll be a challenge, but we're gonna have to. It's just the way life is, right? So yep,
Does he have
school.
does he have 2 phones? Does he have 2 phones?
2 phones.
Well, I just wondering if you had 2 phones, then you could have one phone go off at a certain time with the alarm, and then you could have the other phone go off at another time with the alarm.
Well, I've got Alexa
Both of them,
going on.
both of them could be snoozed, so you have 4 alarms going off.
Well, this is the thing now. I've got my phone. I've got my Alexa. I've got alarms set, and I still sleep through them.
Still sleep through it.
I'm not tired, I guess. I don't know. I just
Wow.
tell Alexa to shut up, and she does. Apparently, I'm sleep talking. I'll just tell her to
Yeah.
stop, I guess, in my sleep, and then I wake up at 10 o'clock going, oh, shit.
Yes, that happened. That's
Yeah,
happened.
and like I said, still, trying to get the ADHD medication so that it's working properly, and
All the time, steady
yeah.
instead of just from time to time.
Right. So dealing with, things. But as patients, we all deal with these things, and sometimes the cannabis helps, and sometimes it doesn't, and
Yeah.
this is what we're finding for myself anyway that I've had to
Oh yeah.
as
Well,
I'm older, right?
yeah. Yeah. I'm on other medications other than cannabis.
Yeah,
It's
which is
all part of. It's just all part of the regime, the medication, the therapy that I'm doing, or you're doing, or anybody else is doing.
right. It's just
In
added
order
to. It's
yeah,
enhancing my add to
yeah,
the
like
already
you know,
too, right?
there was a time there I had 32 different pills, so none of that was a cure all. So
Absolutely not. I think that's what we're finding too. Like, you have to, like, again, I could be on 22 different pills and then I'm on like 2, comparably to what, could be. So I think, where you're sitting at, like what you do, what compensate with what you could be. I know a lot of
mhm.
people, it's become, cannabis is taking them down to a certain level. They're not taking as many, you
Correct.
know,
That's where I'm at. I was at 32 a day. Now I'm at 9 a day. That includes any supplements like calcium and
right.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm only taking like 2 pills a day plus a vitamin. Or like, I guess my Concerta, my vitamin, and my folic acid, and then the hydrochloric, like that. But then, and then, on Thursdays I take a little more, but that's my one. I only have to take the methotrexate once a week, and that's when I have to
No.
take a
Yeah.
big dose, right? Of the methotrexate. Everything else is just folic acids and vitamin D, and the
Yeah.
hydrochloric
Well, the folic acid. You got to take the folic acid because you're
every
taking
day,
the methotrexate.
every day,
No,
and that's
yeah.
right. because if your body doesn't make folics naturally when you're taking the methotrexate, it takes that ability from your body away, so you have to take folics. And right now there's a
And
shortage in folic acid,
I was going to say that
right?
in the
So
past.
you have to take over the counter. So instead of taking 5 milligram, which was not bad, now I'm going to take 5 pills a day. And
Yeah,
there's just a
yeah,
shortage of the 5 milligram methotrexate in the pharmaceutical, whatever. Like I said, I was just told I couldn't
yeah,
get it.
yeah. Well, I
Methotrexate,
don't.
there's becoming a shortage in methotrexate. So basically,
Is
I'm
there
like
really?
my pills to the point where, like, Jesus, I'm only going to take 8 instead of 10 because I might run out, and I can't be
Yeah,
with you,
yeah.
right?
I'm glad I don't have to take that anymore. But the methotrexate,
Well, I
I
don't
don't
want
take
to
the
have to go because he can't give
folic
me
acid
pills to do an
anymore.
injection. I don't want to do that because that's what would happen if I couldn't get the tablets and the only option was an injection. I don't want to take the injection.
With the meth,
I
yeah, that's what I was on. That's what I did for 3 years. I was doing self injections in my stomach
I know, and I'm just
for 3 years, and
not down for that.
I just built up a big anxiety, and I it wasn't going over well in the end, and I said to the doctor, let's try the pills. I've had enough of this because
Right.
yeah,
And I know they
yeah,
didn't want to put me on the pills because of the colitis, because the methotrexate can cause problems with stomach tear lining,
mhm,
tears in the stomach and blah blah blah, and cause worse problems for what you already have, right? Which was the
yeah.
whole reason as to they don't like putting you on the tablets. And I haven't had any issues, thankfully, right? But injection, I'd suffer first. I hate to say that, but
Oh, it was, in the beginning um it was it was a huge learning experience, the whole thing, because from the nurse who did my very first injection, dressed up in her gown
has
and gloves and goggles and mask and everything,
yeah.
and like this was 17 years ago, somewhere around there.
Oh, still the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, it's still the same. And she said it was the safety equipment that she was required to wear while she was doing that. So, I obviously had some concerns and talked to my doctor about it. But he taught me how to do my own injections with just some freezing, and it was all right. So then I started doing my own, but then eventually that started getting to me, and it was like when someone gives you a needle in the arm, they just put it in. Like, you don't feel the layers of skin as if you're holding onto the needle as it's going through them. It was,
I know. I
yeah.
tell you, I couldn't do it. There's no way.
I was getting, I was finding myself getting very nauseated
Yeah,
after having to do it, and so I was really glad to get away from it. Let's
yeah,
just
I
say,
bet. Yeah. No, that's not something I would want to experience. When I made that pretty damn clear, when I went into her office, basically, they wanted me to do a blood test once a month, and I said that's not going to
hmm
happen. Like I'm like it's not like I just needles. So they're lucky to get a blood test out of me every 3 months, which is the way it is. But yeah, needles, no, that's no, no. I'm not good.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
yeah,
But it gave me that experience. Like, here I was having to give the dog some medication. So I pulled the plunger and had some air in it. So I had that experience to turn it upside down and give it a shot to get the air out of it and everything. So that's your dog, eh? Okay. I thought
that's
you
some
got a dog
puppies.
under there. All right.
You start
Yes,
howling.
that's the puppies. Oh, break time.
Okay.
Yeah, the noise is gonna be starting. When we get back from the break, probably won't even be able to hear you talk. Right? This Pace Radio Show, we're live here at paceradio.net and cbgtv.com. We'll see you in about 3 minutes.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor? If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
You're watching the Pace Radio Show. And tonight on the program, it's just Tamara and I just sitting around having a gab. Sesh, whatever you want to call it, shooting the shit. I've got my Shadowizer here, being I'm inside. I did set up outside tomorrow, but it was cold. It was, they were talking like it was going to, by the time the show was going to be over, it was going to be like 11 degrees, and it was windy.
Oh wow!
So I just
it's still here today. The red room's like it's flooded. I had to run out there this morning, make sure that the dripping wasn't dripping through because roof leaks on the chickens out there, and it's like it's just flooded. So there's no way to sit out there right now, like I was last week.
I was really hoping to be sitting outside.
Well, it is September 1st tomorrow, so that kind of.
I've got
the plants outside are in bud. Like I didn't start budding, but they're starting to throw white hairs out there on the deck. So I'm gonna have to. I was gonna trim them and bring them in. But I can't trim them now. I'm gonna have to let them just go. So I'm gonna bring them in and put them under the lights here. But they're starting to throw hairs, and it's the beginning of September. So that's exactly from now,
good.
Weeks from now, it'd be December. We'll have snow.
We got a message. Hi guys, long time. Hi Facebook user. I guess people have to agree to use their name for it to show up. So otherwise, you're the Facebook users. Thanks for watching. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Jeff. Nice
After the show, we'll go back. What's that?
I said thanks for coming and watching.
Yes. afterwards be able to go back and find out where it was, because it's just on one of them. We're running on three different four different Facebook places. So I'm not quite sure which one they'll be at, but thanks for tuning in. Oh, there's the puppies. But so yeah, plant wise, I can tell you myself. All mine are gone into bloom. Some more than others. Some damage though, due to wind.
Oh yeah, because the wind will. Once again, that's the thing. The heavier the stock is, the more heavy they are, the more susceptible they are to break. Right. So the nicer they are, the taller they are, the more beautiful they are, the chances of them breaking are even more.
Right. And like I even pinched them. I even went around and pinched them to try to keep them short. And it got a little tall. And it's actually it bent over, so I straightened it out and I supported it. And when you look at where it bent over, it's actually if this is well, let's just put it this way. There's a gap like there is between my fingers.
Right.
Also goes up like this. It comes up like this, and then it goes around this and keeps going. Like you can look. I can take a picture right through it.
Oh, that's. I've had one do that before too, where it just splits right open in the middle, right, and it just keeps growing up.
Yeah. There's no strength to it there. I had to support it, put bracing, but
Yeah, and that's the thing, especially when you grow outdoors too. Like you've got they grow so big. When they're inside, at least you can kind of keep them more regulated. But depending and you don't expect this wind. Like we're not used to having the wind we've gotten lately here. So I'm sure that you're not used to having that kind of high force wind that's knocking everything down either, right? Yeah, I'm really noticing that things are like the weather's changing. Right.
Yeah.
And they want to, discredit you, whatever, but maybe this is
all we can do is cross the fingers and hope everybody survives.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like I said, mine are just starting to go into flowers, so I'm gonna have to bring them in pretty quick.
No, I'm gonna see if I've just loaded up a picture here. I want to see if it shows up on the screen. Earlier it was sort of give and take. And I noticed there's a bit of a lag, and it could be because I loaded up this picture.
Oh, that's right. You were going to show trail cam. You got some deer.
Yeah, but it didn't show up. It's not showing up. I'm not seeing.
Oh, I'm seeing it. I can see it. I can see it. But what's funny? Like even the back of our show tonight.
You can probably there it is. So there's a. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. Did you see that up there?
I did see the deer. But that's the thing. I think even like I said, the back tonight I can't see what I normally see. So I don't know what's set up differently, but because I'm not seeing anything that I normally see in the back. Weird.
Oh, you don't see you mean the normal back?
I'm not seeing any of the back.
Yeah, weird. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I bring it in again. Okay, we shifted over. Let's see if it brings it in. There seems to be a delay. We've got a trail cam. And I've got it out there, and I got some pictures recently, and I got some video. I've been trying to get pictures and video. Come on, dear. Show up. Sure shit, I'll hit the button again. It'll come on, and then it'll disappear. There we go. I'm going to hit the button again. Yeah. For some reason, it won't show up. See, I can't even post these pictures.
Really?
Yeah, I can't post them. I've tried to post them. It tells me that they can't find it. Like I go through the whole step, and then I see it there on the screen, and then flash, it's gone, and it says that it can't post the picture.
Is it like because
it's got
it's like
something to
is
do.
it
I don't know.
the size of it? Maybe like maybe is it too big or too small? Because sometimes if they're not big enough, the JPEG
No,
would ever.
yeah, I don't know. They're only like 500 kilobytes or whatever. They
That's weird.
should. Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get it up again.
I'm gonna have to set these puppies loose. I'll be right back. Well, you're figuring
Oh
out that.
well.
I'm gonna put
Oh
them on
well.
and they won't cry. All right, coming. All right, all right, all right.
Oh, going to look after the puppies. Here, why don't I put some music on? Some puppy chasing music. I'm gonna put some rock music on. Oh, she's gone.
All right. There.
There you go. I shut it off.
And normally I can see all the music that you're just finished playing in all the background. I can't see any of that tonight. It's like I came in like as a guest or something tonight. It's weird.
Oh, you can't. Oh, because you're not. Probably because you're not signed.
No,
See,
I
tonight's
just came in.
wind is probably
Link.
really. Tonight's wind is
Yeah,
probably.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Here. And I can put them down now
Tonight's
around the
wind
bedroom.
is playing havoc.
Yeah. Well, that's what you said. You guys were going to have some wind
Yeah.
coming in. I mean, the wind has really been havocy for you a few times with, ripping your, Quonset apart and taking out your
Yeah.
trees, and you've had some issues with the wind. But yeah,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
protection.
It
You're out
looks
on
like
the
we got
bum.
more going on
Almost like
tonight.
you're on the prairies, Al. It's almost like you're on the prairies, like Little House on the Prairie, like I was in Alberta, where there's nothing to protect you when the wind comes in. It just plummets everything, right?
Oh, really? It just wipes everything right out. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are you close to the lakes, or is that is the wind coming off the lakes? Are you close to the lakes? Is that where the wind kind of comes up
No.
from? No.
No.
Mountain ranges.
No lake. Well, actually, sorry, I'm wrong there. There is a lake. It's and to tell you the truth, the wind does come off that direction. Yes. Yeah. It's like it's across from the property towards the back end of the property is the lake. It's off to the side. I would say it is to the northwest of us.
Yeah, so that north wind comes down, probably picks up on top of the water.
Yeah, it comes down across the water, jumps on the hydro line down the opening.
Right. And that's the same way here. Like we've got, it's not even the lakes for us, it's the valley. So like everything just kind of blows, like we're in between two mountain ranges. So everything just kind of poof right through, right? And it never was that way. The clear cutting has really made a big deal. But apparently Alberta's, stopping all renewable energy. So there'll be no more solar and no more wind power stuff being built in Alberta. So we won't have to worry about them building any more windmills.
No, you won't. Yeah. Well, you have all that wind not doing anything then.
Right.
Just blowing instead of putting it to work.
Just slam 240,000 jobs out the window. Just shit. Yeah, all the sustainable, renewable, anything that they were going to start building in Alberta, there was a great big huge plant going to go in, and she just pulled the plug on it because it's renewable, and they need to do more research into renewable energies and see if it's actually like real.
Oh, yeah, it's too bad. Yeah. I think I caught some of that on the news. Well, that's too bad. I can't show you my deer photos that I got. No. I got one that comes right up and he's sniffing. He's sniffing this camera and everything.
Well, I've got them right out my door too, right? And I live in town where yours are at least supposed to be there. Mine aren't.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Mine are supposed to be there. Turkeys, got turkeys as they go by. I think the 4 or 5 deer in one grouping I've seen.
Mhm.
What else was there? Oh, yeah, there's birds. Birds will
Oh
set
yeah,
it off.
yeah,
There was a night shot at like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. I got us something, and it was either a coyote or a wolf or cow wolf or whatever you call those things, because it was as big as Tessa. It wasn't a fox. Like if you would think it was a dog, uh, in the photo and in the video, and you can see its beady eyes because the eyes light up because of the light, the infrared light,
yeah.
and but I can't tell whether it's coyote or a wolf.
Could be
So
either, right? Depending on the
yeah,
size. Coyotes are
yeah.
fairly small, much smaller, longer noses, right? Where coyotes are kind of wider across the snout and
Mm.
right, and their ears are different by.
Yeah,
So it's
these are straight up.
it could be wolf then.
Yeah,
Well,
but
coyotes are more like yeah.
floppy.
Well, not floppy, but they kind of like sideways, right? Where wolf are straight,
Oh,
or coyotes are kind of like off.
wow. They weren't flopping. They were up. I don't know which way they're facing,
Okay,
but
I'd have to see a picture. I'd have to see a picture, but
and
you
then
can't or right? Like you
yeah.
just can't tell.
What else have we got? Lots of waving trees, bushes, plants, weeds. I bet you I
Probably
deleted.
there.
But yeah, I deleted close to 800 photos yesterday.
Oh wow! So how much
Yeah,
property do you have out there? Like, do you have like more than one setup somewhere, like around the
there's,
property, or just
there's
the one?
42 acres here.
Nice. That's a nice piece. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple ponds, swamps. So I take the camera down into the swamp and get pictures down in there of the
Yeah.
deer looking around and stuff, eh? And
Right.
then I want to take, because there's some planted forest here as well. So I'm going to take it into the planted forest to see what's walking around in the planted forest.
Right.
Just sort of out of curiosity, see what's all out there. And I look at it, everything that's coming in. Probably most of it is just maybe walking by. Or is it
Right.
really staying? Is it staying on the property?
Well, yeah.
Uh, like this deer that I got pictures of there yesterday. It was just the one deer, but I got it a few times, and it jumped over the fence 3 times. So I've got it now. I've got the camera set up right on the fence. So I got photos of it jumping away, photos of it jumping towards me. Now I've got it on the fence, hoping to get a side shot of
Oh yeah.
a deer going up over the fence.
Right.
So see what happens. I took some a bag of apples down because we've got lots of apple trees around here.
Right.
Lots, like I just posted a picture of Gail picking an apple out of a
Yeah,
tree
I've seen those.
for a walk, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's lots of apple trees here, so I took down a bag of apples and I got some pictures and video of the deer having something to eat, having a snack in
That's
there. But in that spot, that's all I've ever seen. It's just a deer in there. I haven't seen anything else walk by.
yeah. Well, that's good because that means there's no predators and they're fairly safe
Huh.
there, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
and
can feel safe
no
walking through the woods.
no fawns or just mamas, like no babies.
Uh, I'm mostly seeing. I'm gonna say babies, young ones. I have seen some bigger ones in some earlier photos that I've got.
Well, that's
So
good. That means a little
that's
herd
mainly
starting to grow.
deers.
You have a nice little
Yeah,
herd back.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what it looks like. That's maybe going on. That maybe they found a spot that they have enough food. They feel they have enough food. They got water.
Yeah.
Not only do we have swamps back here, but like as I mentioned, just northwest of us is a well, how is that? northwest of us, is a lake,
Right.
and that's where
Now,
that deer was going.
yeah.
The
Is it
one-
protected land, or can they hunt them out there?
Pardon me?
Is it protected? Like, is it a park, or can they be hunted? Like, is it a open?
It's just farmer fields. As
Oh,
far
so
as protected, no. I'm gonna say no because from where I'm taking photos, I can see somebody on other property, not on our property here.
Mhm.
This property that we're on, but there's a tree hut,
Oh yeah.
fair size tree hut up there. So it's an open field between where I'm taking pictures and where the tree hut is. So I'm going to say it's probably because of the fact that there must be a lot of deer that travel through there at some point. I know that last year I go out there at 6:30 at night. It's getting pretty close to that time almost. I go out there at 6:30 almost every night, and I'd see up to 6 deer out in the field. It usually happens after the guy comes and does his hay, the second cut. Actually, they showed up after the first cut too. It's as if they were. And one time I walked out there, and there's a couple of deer that were playing just like puppies.
Yeah.
Like doing that, looking at each other, jumping back and forth. And
Yeah. I've seen them do that with my cats. Play with the cats, like jump
oh
back
yeah, the cat, yeah,
out here in the yard. But that's the
yeah.
thing, that so if there's a tree hut back there, likely that farmer is hunting those deer in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I can tell you also. I also caught on video cows. Lots of cows. The farmer lets his cows wander, right? They go up and down up and down through the fields and up and over the hills and all that.
Free
And
range.
I can report I don't hear any cows talking when they are away from humans. There's no conversation. I just see.
They aren't talking about getting slaughtered or nothing. They're just
No. They're not talking about running away or anything.
and the deer aren't
It's,
talking to trees either, right? They just aren't talking to each other.
Yeah, they just I see them grazing. Depends on the time of day. They'll get under a shade tree and relax under the shade tree.
Well, yeah, they're just out there living their life.
Yeah,
They're not trying to bother.
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. Like, even with these guys that come through my yard, like, they're just trying to live their life. Well, they're just trying to eat and do their thing. Like, they're not here to. They're not maliciously,
Right.
living in your yard just to shit on your yard. To go, I just shit on
Well,
your yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're in town, so
Yeah.
your town is built in their property.
Right? Yeah. So, like I said, like, it's not like they're leaving a sign on the lawn going, like, they just ran over. Hey, Ralph, I just shit on her lawn. Let's go over and shit on that one over there too. Like, it's just not the way.
I think we had deer up on the lawn last night, the side yard, beside the big apple tree, because Tessa was out there this morning. I bet you she didn't move off that mound, that area under that tree for a good half hour at least. She was just constantly just sniffing around, sniff. Actually, like, that was our morning walk from there to the apple tree. Normally we go out in the field, where I took some pictures the other day of the hydro guys up on the towers. But today, no, got to that tree and she just stayed right at it. So there was something that was there.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably the deer.
Probably. Yeah, no. They, like I said, they just kind of wander around. Yeah. And like I said, they're not harming anybody. But I guess, again, when they got babies, when they got fawns, they will chase. They can be pretty aggressive. We see our town deer. We have signs up there, mama with fawn, because she will attack you. Like, you come anywhere.
Really?
Oh yeah, she will just come right at you and beat the shit right out of you. They'll just stand up and just start like pouncing, right? And they do.
Mm-hmm.
So even this stupid rabbit, like, he didn't want to come in the house. He was trying to fight me too, fucking rabbit.
Ra- you got a rabbit?
I got to bring him in the bathroom right now because it was pouring rain. And I had to bring him in, trying to get him out of his cage today. It was just like fighting a wild animal too. He didn't want to come. I had to grab him by his scruff of his neck, fight with him to get him to come in the house, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not getting the deer in because they're wet, but the bunny I had to. But again, like, what do you do? It's life. So can't. And everybody says, well, you shouldn't, feed them. Well, we don't. It's a bylaw. You're not supposed to feed them. But there are people in town that try. And it's funny because when I was working at the other place, we sold deer corn as feed, right? So you got people coming in buying deer corn, right? And you just kind of look at them and go, okay, do you have your green card? And, stamp the little green card and so on. It's old 80s, coming in for the deer to, throw out for them. They're not supposed to be feeding them, But then it was so we had a winter. We had 14 feet of snow. And we actually had farmers going out and throwing bales of hay out for the elk, out into the forest because it was so deep that they couldn't forage to be fed. And we would have lost several thousand elk. So we had a farmer that was going out and throwing hay out for the elk and the deer because we've had winters that have been not bad too. So even the town deer were being fed, because we're not cruel. We don't want them to starve to death. It's not.
Have you noticed that? Are you near any fires?
I
just wanted.
Not right now.
Okay, so you haven't noticed any increase in deer in the town then?
Just grizzly bears.
Oh, just grizzly bears. Oh, just grizzly bears. That's all. Just grizzly bears.
Well, BC decided to put a ban on hunting grizzly bears about 5 years ago, right? Now everybody's seeing grizzly bears just wandering aimlessly down the highway and
I see.
eating fucking chickens out of people's coops that normally they wouldn't be there, right? So there's been, quite a increase in grizzly bear sightings in the area.
Well, I know I see John Conroy. He posts his trail cam pictures. I'm gonna have to ask him how he can post his pictures, and I can't post mine. This doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't. It doesn't make sense at all.
I've got some pictures, but I put them on my phone. I had to take a screenshot. Well, actually, I had to take a picture of my computer screen in order to do it. And this is one I did today, and I sort of played around with it a little bit, because it looks like I'm holding the deer.
Holding the deer.
Looks like I'm holding the deer.
That's a good shot though. From the trail cam, that's a decent shot. Showing where the deer.
Yeah, exactly.
Is your property well fenced? Is there wire fencing all the way around the property?
There's a fence along right there beside it, not far from it, and it just jumps over the fence. I noticed it was there's no steady path or anything there, but what I did see was on the fence itself, it's just a wire fence, those squares, and the top lip is bent over. So that tells me that it is from the deer hitting it.
Well, they can jump 6 feet.
Yeah, it's down now. It didn't have any problems jumping over it there last night.
No. And that's the only way you can really keep them out, is get 6 to 8 foot fencing.
This isn't an 8-foot fence.
But yeah, they can jump over 6 feet, that's for sure. Honey, the babies are loose where you walk.
What's that?
Just telling Alvin to watch where he walks because the puppies are loose.
Okay. Here's another. This is
the puppies are loose. Oh, that one just did it. Online? Yeah, I'm on my show. Yep.
See, there's another one.
Yeah.
But yet again, I had to take a picture of my laptop screen.
Oh, that's weird.
In order to get it. Oh, here's
that baby just landed on his head.
I'm looking at you.
Oh, that
See,
one's in the dark. Little beady
that one's in
eyes.
the dark. Yeah.
You just landed on your head. Are you okay? Poor thing. You just landed on your head.
Well, I know how he feels. Before the show, just before the show, before we went live, I went for a walk. We have a dog run out here that's overgrown with trees and stuff, and I have a trail cut through it for them. Got lots of sumac and stuff in there. Apple trees too. Imagine that. So I walk in there. What do? I walk underneath the tree. Plunk!
Oh,
Right
no.
off the top of my head.
Oh,
Friggin'
no.
apple. Yeah. Well, I
Not
see
good.
we got a little long. It's after 9 o'clock. Well, 9 o'clock my time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then we're gonna head for break. We're gonna run our commercials. Everybody can see who supports us, and just so you know, I'll get a little story right after that on one of our sponsors. And other than that, we'll be back shortly, everybody.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
When you have a pain that's reached its peak, Legacy for 20, it's so unique. If organic cannabis is what you seek, here's your trusted partner 7 days a week. Suppository salves, vapes and drops, topicals, edibles, infused pop. Just when life seems like it ain't easy, at Legacy 420, enjoy a pop freezy. Lab tested products make them the GOAT. Legacy 420 out on your road. Legacy 420 in Tyndonega Mohawk territory. Indigenous organic cannabis at its finest.
Let's share Pace everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Pace Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
on there? Hang on there. The old computer's got ghosts in it, Tamara.
Mine does.
Mine does.
Oh, now
I looked down, and all of a sudden the video started on its own. I'm going, what's going on there? Then it stopped. So
oh, that's weird.
yeah, it is. It is. It is. Okay. Yes. Tomorrow morning. I'm off to. I'll be off to Kingston.
Oh,
To Limestone City Hydroponics.
nice.
Go up there and see Pierre and Margaret and say hi and spend some time with them. Give them an
Awesome.
update on things, what's going on. I'm gonna meet up with a friend of mine, somebody
Oh,
I've known for several years. Grown cannabis with him as well during that time, and patient. He's a patient,
right.
and he got busted. He got busted before legalization for 3 joints, and he had to go. He had to go to court for his 3 joints, and he got community service for his 3 joints.
You know how I understand. I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
I did 6
He,
months house arrest, so I get it.
so what he did something that he enjoyed to do, and he went to a senior's home and he played guitar for them,
That's
entertained them.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great community service. Awesome.
yeah. So so I'm gonna pick him up tomorrow, and we're gonna make our way into Kingston
Cool.
and go in there and check out the store.
Cool. That
Oh,
sounds
look
like
at
fun.
that! Just so you know, there you go. Cannot wait to meet you in person. They are watching.
Yay! That's awesome. Thanks for
Hi.
watching.
Yes. So I'll be going down there, checking out the store. I'm sure I'll be taking some pictures, some videos.
That'd be great.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe make another commercial out of it all.
That's
And
awesome. That's so
they say
awesome.
that they're throwing hugs our way. We love you.
Yay!
Hugs. Thank you.
Well, if I wasn't, 4 provinces away, 5 provinces away.
Yeah. You're on the other side of
I know, but that doesn't mean that, when you guys are driving through BC or you come out here, I'm always here. Stop in.
Well, if you're ever this way.
Jeff Lundstrom, not too long ago, Jeff Lundstrom was driving back from Vancouver to Saskatoon, and he stopped in at mine, and I got to see Jeff, which I hadn't seen in about 5 years. So it was great to see him and give him a hug and smoke a big fatty with him and just, hang out for a little bit. And yeah, so that's another thing that, is coming up. They're doing pot fights out in Vancouver. So that's September.
What's pot fights all about?
Well, it's more of like a fundraising kind of thing. I'm not really sure what all the ins and outs are. That's why I was trying to have Asia on my show so we can get all the skivvy on what's going on. But yeah, they're all out there doing this pot fight. So I'm not exactly sure. So I can't say. I mean, I know it's an event, but what they're actually doing, I'm not sure. I think they're actually fighting. I think they're going to be doing pillow fights or I don't know.
Maybe they got those big gloves, those big
whatever. Yeah,
gloves.
exactly. Like
Yeah,
it's
you couldn't hurt a fly with the things.
Right. But yeah, so it's something like that. I think along those lines is what I'm assuming. Yeah.
I put a suit on.
It's for fun, right?
Yeah.
A fun event for everybody to
get those suits on.
Yep. I think more of it just to having a fun event and just do whatever.
Yeah.
Like
crap.
More, yeah.
I might be inside, but I still got mosquitoes.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, the door must be open.
And they love the light, right? Wherever there's light, you'll find them just come buzzing towards the light, right?
Yeah.
I bought one of those thermos or thermo whatever with the pads.
Thermocells.
Yeah, it works quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had mixed. It depends on the wind too, right? Because nothing's gonna stick around if it's blowing.
Yeah, well, it goes in my red room where the wind doesn't kind of hit it, so it kind of covers just that enclosed area, right?
Oh yeah. If you're inside, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Inside, it's enclosed, where the wind's not getting
More
at it.
enclosed than not. Yeah, so it does that really nice little area that I've got out there. So it worked well for us. Yeah.
What
Oh, yeah.
do we got? We got 20 minutes. So there's something that I got written down here, and there'll be more of this tomorrow on psychedelics and cannabis educational news. And I seen today something about the U.S. Someone from the FDA or DEA, I think it's from the FDA, anyways, has recommended that they reschedule cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3.
What's a Schedule
Yeah.
3? Is that less?
To a Schedule. Well, yeah, that they say brings it. So what I've seen is I've seen good comments and I have seen negative comments on it. It's not legalization. It's just rescheduling. Okay.
Well, like it should be taken off the schedule in reality. Like that's what we've always asked for.
Well,
We asked for it to remain yes,
yeah.
period, right?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna get into it tomorrow on the news, and it has to do with rescheduling. Someone said it makes it equivalent to Tylenol instead of heroin.
So then it would be like an over-the-counter drug like aspirin.
Yeah. So it's a disclosure Wednesday that the top Biden administration health officials this week officially recommended cannabis be reclassified from a Schedule 1 substance, the same to Schedule 3, the same category as Tylenol with codeine.
Well, with
Some
codeine,
people know that's the biggest development in 50 years.
No, it's a step forward, but it's codeine. Tylenol with codeine is still Schedule 1, like 3.
Well, I think codeine, yeah.
It's still got codeine. Like that's why they've got it as Schedule 3 because of the codeine, right? Tylenol, like it's one with the acetaminophen, should be not scheduled. I don't think it's on the schedule list at all. It's the codeine that's on the list. So you have like a Tylenol 1 or a Tylenol, right? With because usually it's a T3 or whatever.
Of course, right? This news made the stocks go up by 20%. Someone says this is essentially ending the dumpster fire that is cannabis policy. They say rescheduling cannabis would dramatically reduce the steep federal taxes now paid by U.S. cannabis companies. Isn't that funny? They pay taxes to the federal government even though it's illegal. We had to do that here in Canada too.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And the banking system still doesn't recognize it, so it's still a shit show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yet they still take the taxes off it, and they still take, what did they say? Health Canada just got a increase to the medical marijuana, or to the marijuana program. It's like $13.1 million. Like,
right. They think that this might help the Safe Banking Act get passed.
No, maybe.
But it's already been passed 7 times by the one end. It has to be passed by the other branch. It's ridiculous. There's all that money out there, and people are having to hire guards to watch the cash because you can't put it into a safe spot.
Yeah.
So see what happens.
Yeah, it's weird.
See what happens. Hopefully they make a change. Not only it's not only going to affect the U.S. It affects so many different countries, not just themselves.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's the thing. Like with us moving forward with legalization, it has changed things and opened up, I believe, the ability for the United States to actually go forward with something like this, right? Because it took a G7 country to do it. before they were going to do it, because it's the devil's lettuce. But again, their population is so much larger than ours. Like, you don't even get. I don't think most Canadians concept. I mean, you look at Florida with this hurricane and stuff. All their counties and how many people are in those little counties alone. And then they've got this. They've got this state that's as big as like 3 of our provinces put together, and the population of 3 of our provinces all stuffed in the peninsula called Florida, right?
No, it's just a little tiny little spot, really. When you look at, you think of Ontario, it takes 24 hours to drive across Ontario.
Right, but the population of Ontario is so small compared to the vast.
Small compared to, like how long does it take you to drive across Florida? A couple hours?
Like, we've got places like where you can drive without seeing, like Saskatchewan, miles and miles and miles, where there's no population, there's no cities, there's no towns, there's no nothing.
Yeah, I know.
In the States, it's like, blink, there's another one. Blink, there's another one. Blink, there's another one. And all these little shitty towns have got like populations of like 10,000 people. And they're like, boom, 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 boom. Like, it's just, we don't, like, unless you actually go down and drive it, we don't really conceive how fast their population is larger than ours, right? Like, hugely.
Yeah, we have a lot of. Well, I think I read something that said 80% of Canada is still barren.
It is. Yeah, it totally is. I mean, there's places in the northern parts of this country you cannot live. Period. You can't live on muskeg. You can't live on places that don't get. There's nowhere for you to sustainably live because you don't see daylight. There are parts of the country that don't see daylight for around 4 days out of the year. Like, you cannot live there. Like, even though it's part of Canada, right?
Someone would try.
Someone would try. And then say it was Trudeau's fault because they couldn't.
So hopefully tomorrow on the news, we will have more on that rescheduling. See what's going on. It's important because it affects everybody worldwide.
Right. It absolutely does.
They were the ones that went around and got everybody to change their laws and made them all anti-cannabis.
Right? Well, exactly. They took the lead on it, so now let's take the lead on changing that. The war on drugs.
Yeah.
Remember the egg in the frying pan.
Yeah, for sure. Or we're going to hold back funding for your country because you don't have good cannabis laws.
Yeah.
We want you to, yeah.
Yeah. But again, same thing with Mexico. Like, Mexico's decriminalized a lot of small amounts of drugs, and it is slowing the cartels down. It's not slowing them down in the ways that the U.S. want to see it, because now they're not trafficking in drugs, they're trafficking in people, and they're trafficking in organs, and they're trafficking in other things. And these criminal elements will always find something else to traffic in, whether it's moral or not. So if they're not going to traffic in drugs, they're going to traffic in something else, whatever it is, right? And now it's in humans instead. Why there's an increase of people at the borders is because the cartels don't have any other way to make money, so they start selling people.
No, it's not good. Not good. Not good.
Yeah, it's sick, but it's true.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I know.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got 10 minutes or less left. Got anything you want to discuss?
I think we've covered a lot of stuff.
We did. But you were showing me before we went live that your pen.
Oh, yeah. So we were talking about vaporizers, right? Like, because to take and be kind of on the sly. But this is a Yokan that I got last week. But it's got a little you can actually turn the heat up.
Digital readout.
Digital readout, so it goes up and down here, right? And then I got it at 3.5, and then it gives you everything, and you can take it apart, and it has a little in here, so it's a magnetic tab that you have to actually screw your pen into, right? So this piece stays with the vape all the time, and people, I guess, were throwing it out. That's what the girl at the store was telling me.
So hang on, bring it back up to the screen. So your finger end has got the cartridge in it. Okay, all right.
This is the cartridge I bought, and this is actually made by our local LP here in town, by Diker. and I bought it because it was made by the one that's in our town, Dakar
Yeah.
Pharmaceuticals, is the LP that makes this one. And to be honest, it's not that bad. It's
Yeah.
not
Okay, so
getting me
you
until
put it, then you put it inside that box.
yeah. So then you put it like in here. There's a little. This is where the heat element is, right?
Oh, okay.
And then it goes in here. And then this piece here, you can tighten it up so it stays in, so it doesn't fall out, right? And there's a little thing on the side here where you can raise the tip up. So if you want it sticking out higher, or you can like here, or you can lower it down, right? Depending on what you want preference, right? And then, yeah, you just push this little button here and it lights up, tells you your rate, and it shows you like your battery level too. So you can always tell how much battery you got left.
Right.
And then you just hold that and
yeah. Oh, well, it works. You can see that.
yeah, it's a good one. Like I said, I bought this one too. It just doesn't, you can't control the temperature. But the difference, I think, like I was saying before the show, is the prices, right? Like this before would have been a $200 unit before legalization. It's now $45.
Well,
this would have been like, a $99 unit. And now it's $19.99. So
now the green one is disposable, I'm gonna say, because you can't.
No, they're both rechargeable.
Can you refill it?
They're both rechargeable. They're both refillable.
Well, the Yocan, you could buy cartridges from the stores to
This
it.
one too. So this one is the same thing.
The green one's the same thing.
Yeah, it's rechargeable and everything. It just doesn't have the heat. You just don't have the ability to change and do any heat. There's no heat on this one.
It's just the one heat.
Right?
Just
but here's a Yocan that I bought. Yeah, this is a Yocan battery that I bought like before the days of the tips.
Yeah.
Right? You had to buy the the burner and the whole line, like, and a shotterizer too. I've got a shotterizer here too. But this thing cost me almost $200. Right?
For the battery.
Well, for the battery and the whole, setup with the coil and the lid and everything else. Even a shotterizer, they were still $100, $150 when they first came out. Right? Anyways, I just noticed the price difference was like huge in comparison to prior to legalization.
Yeah. Well, we do report in the news that the prices are coming down, and you're showing us an example. And actually, one of the later ones has been on the vape pens coming down in price. But from my experience, I think they should cut the price in half, because you can only consume half of it because the friggin' thing's clogged. And actually, to tell you the truth, I had one where I actually sucked the stuff right up out the top.
Right? Actually, I've had pretty good luck with mine. Mine haven't clogged.
Can you see this little shine inside there?
Oh, yeah.
That's
I've had that happen too.
I pulled it right out the hole.
I know.
And I thought, Jesus.
Well, this one, like
now it's sitting straight up and down.
The green one came with an empty cartridge that you could refill yourself. Like when I've got it, I've got it put away somewhere, but it came with an empty vial. Like this was empty, and it has a green little tip on it. Came with it. So if you're making your own, then you can refill these.
Yeah, this one I got down pretty empty. This one here, I got this is I got this one off the Legacy.
Yeah, no, so it depends on, I think, the cartridge itself and where they're coming from, because I don't know. But I remember when the black market was started, when they
let me find one that doesn't plug up.
Well, that's the thing. And before legalization too, and the batteries would last like 2 puffs, and you'd be like throwing it in the garbage, and it was just like poor quality everything. I mean, I know everything's gotten better, but yeah, and prices have come down, because you were paying $50 for $75. I think I was paying at one time for a gram of of that in a cartridge. $75, I think, at one point. For legalization.
Last time I paid for a cartridge, it was in the 30s. I'm thinking I was in that store recently, and the price. I don't think the prices had changed any.
I think they're like,
I
yeah,
could tell anyways.
yeah.
This was for the cartridges. They're all still around $30.
I think they're all around $30 still here too. Yeah, and then we've got a 20% vape tax in British Columbia, so you get to pay an extra 20% taxes if you buy vapes in BC.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
Yeah. Right. So I see me running, and I'm like, so you're basically paying $50 to run with the taxes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I know everyone's screaming about the taxes on cannabis, because by the time it gets to you and me, it's anywhere between 40 and 50% of it is just taxed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's taxed on everything. Like I said, goods and service tax, like GST, like that was supposed to be a temporary thing too that Harper brought in. They've lowered it from 7% down to 6% now, or they've lowered it a little bit, I think, at one point. But why are we still paying GST? Why are we paying GST on goods and services tax?
We just pay HST. Ours is harmonized too.
See, we don't have a harmonized. We pay 7% GST or 6% or 7% HS or PST and then 6%
HST. Ours is harmonized.
I think they had that and they changed it because everybody got in a great big uproar about harmonized sales tax.
Yeah, we just add 13% to everything.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. All of it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, you got anything? We got down to like 3 minutes, so we can say our goodbyes.
We've covered a lot of stuff. Like I said, we've good on everything, and then we've got more news for you guys coming up tomorrow. What else is planned for next week? I've got my show coming up Wednesday. If I ever get out of bed, in time to do it.
Get out of bed. You get out of bed.
Next week school starts for everybody, so that's another thing.
Yep. Tomorrow is the psychedelics and cannabis educational news. On the CBG end of things, following us right after this broadcast is This Old Tent, which is a grow show on Kelly's Green Lounge network, KGL TV, followed by the late night Sesh with comedian Reese Turner. Those shows are right back to back. As soon as we're gone, they'll be firing up the cameras.
So. Put them away, or should have just left them running?
Saturday, back to back, all day long, broadcast from all our content providers.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, it's Reese's birthday too, so happy birthday to Reese Turner, because it's his birthday right on Facebook too. So happy birthday to him.
All right, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, we should go.
Listen to Crying Puppies.
We'll listen to Crying Puppies. We'll be back next week. You can find us on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on the internet, paceradioshow.com. Thanks to our sponsors, legacy420.com, the Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, as well as Limestone City Hydroponics. Looking forward to the visit tomorrow with them. Plus, a big thank you to you, man, and everybody else for the program. Thank you, and good night. Oh, your t-shirt.
Harvest Fest
from Mom. Mary Timers United for Medical Marijuana. See you later.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own, and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.